Beep, beep. My hat!
Hello and welcome back. So here, this video, we're going to be comparing some arms. So if you've been watching some of our other videos, I torn down a slash completely. Well, I'm getting ready to build a slash from scratch. And I'm also going to use other slashes. So I'm going to be comparing some of the arms. These here are the factory Traxxas arms. These here are the Proline arms that come in the Protrac suspension kit. Now you can buy them individually. For example, here I have a set of front arms. The front arms are 606210. I did not get the rear ones. That's mainly because in another video I'm going to do a crash test. I'm going to test the durability, mainly crash in the front arms, see how durable they are. And then over here I have RPM. So I have the RPM rears, and then I have the RPM fronts. Now I have two sets here. These are the offset compensating, and these are the regular arms. Now these say heavy duty front arms. It's the same thing, just these are offset compensating. So right now, the first thing I want to do is look at these two arms and see what the difference is between the offset compensating and the non-compensating. So why would you want one versus the other? Well, the heavy duty arms, the regular arms, are the standard length. So if I were to take these are the standard, and compare them to the stock slash, they are going to be the same length. So there's no change. So if you want no other changes, just get the RPM standard heavy duty. Now these here are, it's a different type of nylon, and comparing these to the factory, so you can see here in the front there's a lot more material. In the rear it looks to be about the same material, slightly different design. Now I'll be honest, I've used RPM arms on many vehicles. Actually I'm using some on different vehicles right now, and all of my nephews are running these, mainly because they broke the stock ones. But here in the front, this is where the main difference is. It's the amount of material. Here there's a little more material. Over here there's a lot more material. So RPM, these are pretty durable. So these are just a direct replacement. You don't have to worry about anything. But let's say you have already worn out your stock tires and you want to just get a set. These are rears. And you just want to get the same all around, rear versus front. There is a greater offset in the rear. If you actually measure from here to here, there's a longer distance between the rim here of the wheel, the edge, and the hub versus the front. The front has less offset. If you were to measure these, well, I can use the offset compensating, and then I can tell you that way. It'll be easier than measuring the wheel. Well, yeah, let's do that. If you take the offset compensating arms, these here, you can use the rear wheels in the front. And it may not seem like much, but it's actually quite a big difference. So, well, based on your camera, the top is your standard, and the bottom is the offset compensating arm. So there's quite a difference there. If I were to place this here, let me start at the 50. So I have a ruler. I'm going to start at 50, and I'm just looking through the hole. So I start at the 50 here. Let's see, perfect. The 50. This arm is approximately, looks like 18 millimeters. Sorry, 8 millimeters, centimeters. What am I talking about? It's not even close. 7.8 7.8 centimeters. 7.8 centimeters. So 78 millimeters. This one's 78 millimeters. Well, the compensating one is 78. This one's almost 80. This one's about, I made a mistake when measuring this one. Correction, 76. 76 is the regular arm, and this looks like it's there. 78. So there's about 2 millimeter difference between the two, just using this ruler. 2 millimeters, that's quite a bit. If you think about it, that's going to be 4 millimeters all around. That's going to make your truck wide enough to where it will rub. So that's why you would choose one over the other. So the offset, this is the offset compensating. So you can use the rears front and back. That way you only have to stock one set. So I'm going to take the regular arms and I'm going to put these away because, well, RPM, they're the same material. For all intents and purposes, it would be the same thing here for what we're doing. Now we have the Proline front arms. Now the Proline front arms, these are massive arms. So we were at 78 with the compensating arms. These things here would be 80. 80 millimeters. So these are much, much longer, and you can tell the difference in the length between here and there. I mean, it's almost a centimeter difference there. It probably is a centimeter if I measured with calipers, because I think the difference, yeah, that looks about a centimeter. But if you look at the material, the Proline arm is a much thicker arm, and it has about the same material here where it hinges. Has more material in the front on both sides. You can also tell there. The rears are similar, but here it's the height of the arm. There's a big difference between the Proline arms. So I'm kind of curious. Now material, this is just your standard Traxxas material. This over here feels a little more plastic-like. It actually feels like the Traxxas winter arms that you would find for the Stampede or the /4x4. That's what this plastic feels like. So if it happens to be the same plastic as the winter plastic, it should be very strong and durable. Like I said in another video, I will be installing these and I will be crashing the vehicles eventually just to see how they do. Now these are pretty rigid, whereas these are a little softer. These bend more. I'm not sure if you can tell, but I am bending these. So that's one of the things that's going to favor the RPM and crashing, possibly, that it's more flexible. Now, let's look at the rear arms. These are the rear arms. The rear arms should be the same length. We will see. Right, so we have the stock Traxxas arm. This is the left arm. Actually, this one has quite a bit of flex because of the design. With these arms, you generally break these back here, and sometimes you'll break this here in the middle. So the RPM, if you look at the RPM design, has far more material here around the hinges, especially in the rear, which is generally what you break. And also this bridge here has been reinforced. Notice the RPM. You also break the bridge. So sometimes you'll break this here, and then you'll break the hinges. Now the rear arms, the RPM rear arms have significantly more material around the hinges. I have never seen one of these arms split in half this way, and I haven't seen an RPM arm break under normal circumstances, and what I mean by that is using 2S or 3S. Some of you have probably used 4S, 6S, and you've probably shattered them. I would not be surprised in using that much power. But these are the arms. So now we're going to leave these, and the lengths are the same. Actually, no, they're not. Do your arms. Huh, I just realized I got the Stampede arms, so these are longer and rustler. I'm going to have to replace these, but anyway, they should be the same length. Those are for rustler Stampede. Actually, these are probably going to be the same width as these, or the same length, I should say. Oh yeah, they're the same length. About the same length. Oh, this is cool. So I can use the RPM in the rear. So the Proline kit for the slash, these are longer than the stock. They're significantly longer. I mean, that's about at least a centimeter. If you look at that, here, let me use a driver. I can put a driver through here. Just hinge it. All right, there we go. So there's a significant difference between the length of the two. And again, Proline, the plastic that Proline uses looks like the winter plastic that Traxxas uses. Let's see, there is a little bit of flex on the arms. Not as much as the Traxxas. The Traxxas arms flex a lot more, especially here in the front. Proline, let's see, there's more material there, more material around the hinges. The arm, in general, again, is thicker. If you look at this cross member here, there's far more material on that cross member as well. So these Prolines are just, there's more material in those. Now, before I started the video, I'd actually requested from local from a hobby shop the slash rear arms, and apparently I was given the Rustler and Stampede arms, which compared to the slash are longer. That's how you get that longer wheelbase in the rear. It's not a big deal, but I'm comparing them to the Proline, and they seem to be about the same size. So I'm curious. I'm going to put a driver through them, see if I can hinge them together. Let me grab another driver, although this is thicker. Oh, it does go through. All right, perfect. And, oh, they're almost the same size. Oh, that hinges. Yeah, the Proline is just a little longer. It appears, not by much. It's probably not even a millimeter. It might be a millimeter. So the Proline is just a little bit longer than the Rustler arm. So on the slash, if you wanted, you could run these. You just have to change the offset. Now, the Proline wheels that come in this kit, they notice the difference in the offset. So with the Traxxas, this is a rear wheel. Your hub is going to sit right about there where my nail is. If you use these wheels, it would sit over here. So in relationship to this, it would sit here instead of there, which is about a centimeter in. So if you have, let's just say you have a team associated short course truck or a techno truck, it looks like you can just put the Rustler arms in the rear of a slash and then just run your techno wheels or your team associated wheels off your short course. But other than that, this is the Proline kit. So just by looking at these, to recap, the RPM does have more material in general than the factory slash around the hinge pins. The Proline also seems to have more material, mainly on the inside of the hinge pins, not as much on the outer as the Proline, so especially on the front arm, if you compare these two. So the RPM has far more material than the Proline. Now these are much wider, much thicker arms. So it's up to you which ones you want to go with. Again, these will be going on a vehicle. Each vehicle is going to be crashed, and we'll see how they break. I am having a Proline build that I'm going to do in future videos. So if you've broken your arms, you can choose between Proline or RPM. Why would you choose RPM over Proline? Well, this is the reason why. You may pick one over the other. Proline, the reason why I'm doing this Proline isn't just for videos, it's actually because I can run my Techno wheels on my slash, and I would only have to stock one offset, one type of offset, instead of stocking 3. And the reason why I'm saying 3 is because one offset for the Techno, and then front and rear for the slash. So that's 2 different offsets for the slash, plus the Techno, that's 3 different wheels. If I do the Proline, I will only need 1 set of wheels. Now, if you don't have another vehicle like a Team Associated or a Techno, you can go with RPM, because RPM offers the standard length, so you can use whatever wheels and tires came with your slash and just keep that, or you can get the offset compensating front arms, and then you can run the same wheels front and rear. And you may want to do that because you may be running a slash 4x4. So slash 4-wheel drive uses the same wheels all around, which happen to be the same offset as the slash rear wheels. So then you would only carry one offset type of wheels. So it really depends on what you're stocking. If you're running a 2-wheel drive slash and a 4-wheel drive slash, just get the front offset compensating arms and run the same wheels on both trucks. If you're running a Team Associated or a Techno, or you may upgrade to a Team Associated or a Techno later on, go with the Proline for the offset of the wheels. Now, as far as durability, that's to come. Thank you so much for watching.